Zhang Yi activated his space ability and thought to himself, still carrying firearms and rockets, huh? That's a bit tricky. The artillery shells seemed to vanish into space without destroying anyone or anything, they disappeared quietly. On the artillery vehicle, everyone was eagerly waiting for the explosion, but after a few seconds of waiting, they heard nothing. One artilleryman looked puzzled. A moment later, a bullet shot through his chest, causing him to collapse heavily inside the vehicle. Screams of agony echoed from within the vehicle. In another artillery vehicle, the soldiers were so terrified they wanted to vomit. They couldn't believe what was happening before their eyes. But then they calmed down and prepared to retaliate by firing back. One soldier shouted, "Fight back, keep fighting back." On the battlefield, the more afraid you are of death, the easier it is to die. Attacking is the best form of defense. However, this only applies when the power difference between the two sides is not too great. Zhang Yi continued to return the artillery shells towards Xiao Honglian's convoy. A few shells were fired towards the castle where Zhang Yi was hiding, but after a while, those shells mysteriously disappeared and then flew back towards Xiao Honglian's soldiers. The people in the convoy suddenly panicked because they were too close together. If the shells landed, who knows how many would die. Someone shouted, "Not good. Run quickly." Even Xiao Honglian's face changed because there was no one in their team who understood defensive abilities. A werewolf roared in anger. His body grew larger. He quickly flew up, trying to change the direction of the shells with his body, but the power of the artillery shells could not be compared to sniper bullets. Even though he tried his best, he could only slightly affect the trajectory of the shells. For artillery shells exploded near the convoy, sending snow and dust flying into the air. The force was strong enough to make all the cars shake, but fortunately, there were no serious casualties. However, the werewolf was blown away, blood spilling from his mouth. Xiao Honglian quickly made the decision to retreat. In the convoy of the Yangsheng base, many soldiers threw smoke bombs, and the smoke quickly obscured their vision. They thought this could block Zhang Yi's view, giving them a chance to retreat safely. Zhang Yi hummed a song softly and then continued to fire freely. He mumbled, "A few people just arrived and already want to leave? This time, I must give you a proper welcome." During this time, Zhang Yi had injured the werewolf and killed many soldiers. Despite the heavy losses, Xiao Honglian decided not to attack the hideout, unlike the Zhaoyu base. They could not independently attack with full force. If all four factions attacked together, each one would need to contribute and endure the firepower of the hideout. After leaving behind 4 vehicles and over 40 lives, the Yangsheng base finally retreated to a safe area. Xiao Honglian looked very serious. A powerful sniper. Moreover, the opponent can counterattack with artillery. It's unclear if one person has all these abilities or if there are 2 people, but each ability is terrifying. She spoke slowly, "Now I truly understand why they could withstand the attack from the Shishan base for a whole month with just a few people." There were things she couldn't say in front of her subordinates, but based on her judgment, she knew that the hidden sniper was incredibly capable. Next to her, Zhuge Qingting ordered everyone to gather and wait for instructions, while also giving the werewolf medicine to treat his wounds. Fortunately, even though many had died, the key combat strength remained intact. The army's morale wasn't overly shaken. He turned to Xiao Honglian and asked for her opinion, "Leader, what will be our next move?" "Attacking head-on, even if we could break through, we're still about 7 kilometers away from the Zhangyi manor. Along the way, we have no effective means to prevent their ambushes while the opponent can counterattack. Using firearms and artillery is not easy either," Xiao Honglian said calmly, looking at him. "We don't need to keep moving forward. It's best to let the other factions advance first to draw the sniper's fire and deplete his abilities." Zhuge Qingting nodded and ordered everyone to rest. He told Xiao Honglian, "I'll have them stay put and rest." Meanwhile, Xiao Honglian picked up the satellite phone and called Wei Dinghai. "Hey, Wei Dinghai, where are you?" On the other end of the line, Wei Dinghai replied, "We're almost there." "Have you arrived yet?" Xiao Honglian smiled slightly. "Not yet. We've taken a long route, so we'll probably be the last to arrive, but we won't be late." Wei Dinghai laughed. "I thought you had already arrived. I wanted to ask about the situation over there." Xiao Honglian also laughed. "What a coincidence, we're heading to the same place. Let's talk when we meet." Both hung up, each thinking, "You hurry up and taste Zhang Yi's bullets." In Zhang Yi's view, after the 2 convoys arrived and he killed many of them, some of the remaining people fled. Zhang Yi mumbled, "Just a few dead and you're already running? What game are you playing now?" Zhang Yi grinned wickedly. I want everyone to know that today, on this battlefield, all will die by my hand. Su Chunlei shouted, Boss, if there's a chance, kill all those mutants first. After all, we're on the front line. It'll ease the pressure on us. Zhang Yi responded indifferently, I'll do my best. However, don't expect too much when it comes to mutants. Those who have survived until now, especially the enhanced mutants and beastmen, are much tougher. The effectiveness of firearms has greatly diminished. He shrugged. You know, it's only against weaker opponents that my strength can double. When facing strong opponents, I automatically go into hiding. He spoke in a low voice. I deliberately let the enemy know about my counterattack ability to make them wary of using large-caliber guns. In this situation, the first line of defense can last longer. After all, if they don't use large-caliber guns, it's very hard to break through a 10-meter thick wall of ice and snow. The power of Zhang Yi's spatial abilities was limited. Basically, opening a portal in space wasn't easy to move things around, so it couldn't be used to shield a defensive line thousands of meters long. Zhang Yi had long demonstrated this ability as a threatening force that could be maximized. Zhang Yi mumbled to himself, who will come next? Could it be the Bisha sect or the Qingba base? Both are partners in this endeavor, but not attacking doesn't mean missing a perfect opportunity. Zhang Yi's worries quickly dissipated because he saw, from afar on the snowy field, a large group of Bisha sect members running towards him, numbering over 1,000. Zhang Yi thought to himself, I'm not wasting bullets on them. He didn't choose to strike at them. Killing ordinary sect members didn't mean anything. There had been agreements between the two sides that, when necessary, they would help Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi reminded everyone in his group, the Bisha sect has arrived as well. Now, except for the Qingba base, the other three factions were all present. Uncle Vu asked rationally, didn't we say before that the Bisha sect and the Qingpu base were supposed to help us? If they join the attack, should we kill them? Zhang Yi replied, if they approach the defensive line, kill them without mercy. Uncle Vu sighed in relief, showing his ease. All right, I understand. If that's the case, things become much simpler. Uncle Vu bent down and pulled up a green cloth, revealing various types of heavy ammunition and several guns. These large-caliber machine guns could penetrate armored vehicles. If used to shoot people, just one bullet could turn a person to dust. After the members of the Bisha sect arrived at their designated location and didn't find people from other factions, they felt a bit strange. Jangi sensed something was off. However, he only took a cursory look and didn't continue moving forward because they were only there to take advantage of the opportunity and had no intention of truly fighting Zhang Yi. Jangi said, if Zhang Yi can fend off several attacks and deplete the forces of the other three factions, we will ambush them from behind. If Zhang Yi can't stop them, we'll have to break our promise and join the fight for benefits. With a slight smile, Jangi added, there are no eternal friends or enemies, only eternal interests. As they approached the hideout, the Qingpu base also arrived. They moved more slowly due to their transportation but were leading a large team of majestic sled dogs. The leader sat on a sled pulled by majestic dogs, followed by more than 500 soldiers in green combat gear, exuding an imposing aura.